Hi crafty friends, it's Donna here from Donna is Playing Paper and Donna Doll 74 on Instagram. Happy New Year! And I have a real cutie to share with you today. In today's card we're going to look at some ways to use masking on images that are really too complex to mask. To begin with, I'm stamping this image called Little Fairy from Paper Rose Studio with some Memento Tuxedo black ink. I want to use Copic colours, and so that's the best ink for that. However, it's not the perfect ink for the ink blending, so I'm going to need to do that very carefully. Once my image is stamped, I'm laying down some removable tape. This is a roll of removable labelling tape from Post-it, and I'm just using the ink that's left on my stamp to mark a light image onto this. The tape is a little narrower than my image, so I'm just putting two pieces together. Then I'm going to cut out just the larger elements of this image and mask those. I know that I'm going to use light blue for my ink blending, and so I'm not too worried about the stems and the leaves. A little bit of a blue undercoat to those won't make any difference. Once I have all my little masks laid down, I'm blending over the top with some Speckled Egg Distress ink. This is a nice light blue-grey colour, which is actually one of my favourite colours for card making and for life. I then want to add some spatter. I'm going to mix some Paper Rose Liquid Sparkle with some silver paint and then spatter that over my image. I mainly want the spatter around the outside, so I'm just putting another very rough and ready mask over the main part of my image. Once that's done, then there's the magic of peeling back the masks. The colour combination that I'm choosing comes from the colour catalogue. Sarah Renee Clark is an Australian who has for years put these colour combinations up on the internet, and these days she also has blocks of colours that you can purchase. I don't have those, but I really love using this resource to choose my colour palettes. And so what I'm going to try to do today is stick pretty much exactly to the colours there, with minimal shading and bringing in of other colours. That means I'm going to have to work hard to make my flowers different colours, because I'm going to be using these same three pinks for all of them. And so I'm going to show you a petal or two of each of those flowers, because I've used a different combination of colours in different proportions, and also using different blending techniques for each of the flowers to make them look as different as I can. For the first flower, rather than blending, I've made sweeping strokes to give some texture to the petals. I'm doing a similar thing for the second flower, only this time I'm hardly using that darker colour at all, just adding a tiny little bit of shading in the very centre. Also, once I've done that, I'm going back over with my lightest colour to blend back those lines so that I don't have any sharp lines remaining. For this next petal, I'm going to use what you might consider more traditional Copic shading, blending the colours into each other. I'm just marking the highlight on each petal first so that I don't forget where it is. This time the petals are almost entirely made up of the middle colour and are much more blended. There were a couple of little spots where my mask didn't quite do the job, but it's easy to cover those, either with a little bit of pencil or a matching marker. You'll see there that I used the BG70. I actually went back later with some BG72 because I think it was still just a little bit pale. But that way I was able to hide any tiny little misses that I had. As well as the palette that I showed you from the colour catalogue, I've added in just a couple of neutral colours. Some greys for the spots on the ladybird and a couple of other places, and also some light colours in that E grouping for this fairy's skin. While I colour, I'll give you a little bit of music. There's plenty going on in this card. It doesn't need a fancy sentiment. So I'm going to choose one of these embossed cut-aparts that says "Time to Celebrate" and just pop that up in the corner. I'm going to make a metric size card, and so I'm using a stitched rectangle frame and a metric A4 card base. I found a little bit of paper in my stash that's a good match for the sentiment and just framed that up. That's all for today's card. I'm really looking forward to sharing more with you in 2024. Until next time, stay safe, enjoy January, a Happy New Year to you all, and I'll be back soon with another card. Bye for now.